Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Monday, August 6th. We have a 10-game slate today. On this Monday, we have two pitchers over 10K. Not a very deep pitching slate, at least just early looks. We got Trevor Bauer and Charlie Morton as our two studs. Then you have Syndergaard, Hamels, Derek Rodriguez, Godley. Really thins out like after you get past Hamels. A lot of options that I really don't want to play. We will talk about the pitchers, though, that I do like pretty much from top to bottom, the ones I'm looking to target. We'll talk about the bats as well, the top stacks in my opinion, go over some BVP as well. But before we do get started, guys, make sure you drop a like on the video. I would definitely appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel and you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do click that subscribe button down below, so that way you will not miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, pitcher today, these two studs we have over 10K, we'll start off with them. You got Trevor Bauer, who's 12-3, facing the Twins at home. I do like Bauer here. I like this matchup for him. I like his price tag as well. 12,300, very reasonable for Bauer, especially because he hasn't been performing that well lately, so we are getting a discount on him. It's not like we're having to pay the premium for him. He's $1,000 cheaper than what he was his last game, and he did have this same matchup in his last outing. He faced the Twins on the road, went 6 1/3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, gave up a home run, allowed 4 walks as well. His walks were definitely up in that outing. And he only got 3 strikeouts as well, so the strikeouts really weren't there. Bauer just really struggled in that outing, only putting up 14.9 DK points. I don't think Bauer's going to struggle today, but I don't think he's a necessity on this slate. Kind of the same goes for Morton. I don't think Morton's really going to struggle against the Giants, but I don't feel like I have to have him. There are bats that I want to pay up for on this slate. There's a Coors game. There's a game in Texas as well. We got 2 high totals there. There's bats we're going to want to pay up for in both of those games. So a pitcher, I'm not really trying to jam in these two studs. I do like the two guys that are right there, though, in price, a little bit under. Noah Syndergaard, first off, is 9,600 today, and I like Syndergaard, especially at this price tag. Sub 10K, I know Syndergaard hasn't been that good lately. He really hasn't shown any upside. Just in his last four outings, or at least coming off this disabled list, his last 3 outings, he's put up 13, 16, and 13 DraftKings points, 4, 4, and 3 strikeouts for him in those 3 games. Syndergaard has definitely not looked that great, but those have been some tough matchups. Had to face the Nationals twice, had to face the Yankees. I would say this is definitely his easiest matchup, at least in his last 4 games. This is the easiest matchup he's got so far. Against this Reds team, that is a little injury depleted right now. They're without They're without Scott Schebler. They did trade away Adam Duvall. They have guys like Mason Williams, Preston Tucker, guys that you can definitely K. The pitcher's going to be in the lineup. You got Billy Hamilton down there at the bottom who will strike out as well. I just really like Syndergaard here. I think we finally see him really perform well. I can see him easily getting 7, 8, close to 10 strikeouts, pitching 5 or 6 innings, getting a win. 25 DK points, maybe even 30 DK points is definitely a possibility for Syndergaard in this spot. He's pitching at home in a good pitcher's park. Just really like Syndergaard here, and I think he does have some upside, especially at this $9,600 price tag. And then the next guy I like is right there, Cole Hamels at 9K versus the Royals. I like Cole Hamels as an SP2 today. Hamels is a guy that I really haven't played much this year, especially when he was on the Rangers. But getting traded to the Cubs, obviously he's not going to be in the National League today. He's going to have to travel to KC, to the American League, to face an American League team. But in his debut with the Cubs, in a National League game, he pitched against the Pirates at the Pirates Stadium and went 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run. That 1 run was not even earned. Got 9 strikeouts, 29.7 DK points in his Cubs debut. I think we're really going to see Hamels perform well with this new team, especially when he pitches in the National League. Even though he's not going to be pitching in a NL Park today and against the NL team, I still like him here. This Royals team is just so bad. There are a lot of strikeouts in this Royals lineup. They have a low implied run total today at 3.7 runs. Definitely want to pick on the Royals with opposing pitchers. So I do like Hamels here, and I think he is a good option. 9K, pairing him with Syndergaard still leaves you nearly 4K remaining for your hitters. So these are kind of the 2 pitchers I like to build around, especially in tournaments when I can pay up for bats. I definitely want to pay up for bats in tournaments today, so going with Syndergaard and Hamels allows me to do that. But then the other pitchers that we could look to on this slate besides those guys, Luke Weaver might be a popular option today, just 7,200 facing the Marlins in Marlins Park. People might be on Luke Weaver. Personally, I don't think I'm going to be going there. Luke Weaver just so inconsistent. Seems like every time this dude's owned, he just never goes out and performs well. I know it was his last start against the Rockies. He was pretty highly owned. It was like a 4 or 5 game slate. He just really sucked. I could see Luke Weaver doing well here, but I could also see him just struggling again. But at 7,200 facing the Marlins in a good pitcher's park, I could see wanting to go down to him. But then looking at other cheap options we could consider, maybe a guy like Nick Tropiano at 6,200. Good matchup there at home against the Tigers. You could possibly go down to him if you're trying to find some value. He's very cheap. Homer Bailey has actually been relatively decent. His last few starts, he's been able to rack up strikeouts. He's facing the Mets in a good pitcher's park, and he's only 5,500. Homer Bailey might actually be a play today if you want to go down to him, if you want to go that cheap. But I think that really is it for the pitchers that I'm really considering today. So now we'll go ahead and talk about the bats. I mentioned wanting to pay up for bats today. We'll just go ahead and look at some of the implied run totals. In this Texas game, you got Martin Perez and Wade LeBlanc going up against each other in 100-degree temps in Globe Life Park. 5.2 implied run total for the Rangers, 5.5 for the Mariners. We're going to want the bats in that game. We go down to the Coors Field game, Kyle Freeland versus Joe Musgrove. 5.1 implied run total for the Pirates, 6 implied run total for the Rockies. Going to want some exposure to that game. So we're going to try and find the expensive bats there. We definitely want to pay up for some of the expensive bats there. We'll start off at first base with that game in Texas. From the Mariners side, I do like Ryan Healy today. He's only 3,800, I believe. Or if I can spell his name right, let's see which goes with his last name. Ryan Healy, 3,800. Not going to be facing Bartolo Colon, even though it says it. Martin Perez going to be pitching for the Rangers today. Great matchup for Healy versus the lefty. Healy has a lot of power versus lefties. This is a good park for power. It's going to be good hitting weather. Just runs are going to be scored in this game. I want exposure to both sides, and Ryan Healy, definitely a guy I like here. Facing a bad lefty, a lefty that struggles at home. I expect the Mariners to really put up runs against Perez, really be able to do damage against him. Ryan Healy, definitely a guy that could take him deep, has a ton of power. We've seen it this year. 21 home runs on the year, and he could possibly add to that total today. So I love him at first base, looking for a value play. I think he makes a lot of sense there. Then at second base, sort of a mid-tier play I like is DJ LeMahieu. He just seems underpriced at 4,200, playing at home in Coors Field. LeMahieu, I feel like, should really not be this cheap in Coors. I know this guy doesn't have a lot of upside. He rarely puts up these monster games that we see like Story and Arenado sometimes put up. But he's not priced the same as Story and Arenado. He's $1,000 cheaper than both guys. He is like one of the cheapest bats that you can find in this Rockies lineup, and he's going to be batting at the top of the order. Projected bat second. Just really like DJ LeMahieu here. I think he's a great cash play. Batting second in Coors Field for 4,200 for a team with a 6 implied run total. Definitely want exposure to the Rockies, and I can easily get it with LeMahieu at his cheap price. And then lastly, at third base, Adrian Beltre, 4K, a guy I really like here. I like to target Beltre when he's at home in this Texas heat. Beltre's actually been able to hit the ball pretty well at home, and this is a good matchup for him versus Wade LeBlanc. LeBlanc's not much of a strikeout pitcher, throws the ball a lot in the zone, and I don't think that's really going to work out for him well, at least today. There's just so many good righties for the Rangers that have power. Andrus, Beltre, Profar, Chirinos, these guys have power. I know the Rangers have a ton of lefties in their lineup, but they could even do some damage against LeBlanc today. Want a lot of exposure to the Rangers as well, and I really like Beltre from that team. Projected back cleanup for just 4K. For another team with a high implied run total, I think he makes a ton of sense. If you're looking to target that game, just stack that game in general. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for tonight's 10-game slate. Noah Syndergaard, Cole Hamels, Ryan Healy, DJ LeMahieu, and Adrian Beltre. Now if we look at the stacks and BVP plays that I like, or stacks at least, talking about them, I definitely want exposure to the Rockies. They're by far my favorite stack. Joe Musgrove's been okay this year. Hasn't been great, but going to Coors Field, it's not going to work out well for him. I love the Rockies here versus Musgrove. Then I would look to probably the other game, the Rangers game, for my second and third stacks. Not as high on the Pirates today, more as high, or a lot higher on the Rangers and Mariners over the Pirates. Rangers probably be my second favorite, and then the Mariners, but they're neck and neck. I like both stacks as well. I'm sure I'll be playing multiple tournament lineups. I'll have a Rangers stack, I'll have a Mariners stack, I'll have a Rocky stack as well in some of my lineups. Just really looking to those games in general. Then like sneaky stacks that could go under-owned. You do have Wei and Chin pitching today, and he's been terrible this year. But he is pitching at home where he's actually been somewhat decent. He's actually been okay at home this year. The Cardinals have a 4.7 implied run total. I think guys like DeYoung, Molina, Ozuna, Martinez, you could target these guys as like a mini stack, but I definitely wouldn't just full load up on the Cardinals today. I'd probably stack like that 3, 4, 5 if I was going to do anything, if I was going to stack them. You got Dylan Covey pitching against the Yankees. The Yankees could be another stack you look to go to. They're probably going to be somewhat low owned today since you have Coors Field and Globe Life Park on this slate. Covey's still a pitcher I don't believe in. I don't think it's very good. I do like the Yankees if you want to go to them. But I think that is it for stacks. Now we'll go ahead and talk about some of the BVP plays on the slate before we do get out of here. Starting off at the top, Jose Ramirez gone 9 for 27 with a home run against Kyle Gibson. A lot of these Indians have hit Kyle Gibson well. Yan Gomes 12 for 27 with 2 home runs. Jason Kipnis 12 for 30 with a home run. Edwin Encarnacion 7 for 25 with 4 home runs. And Michael Brantley 5 for 20 with a home run. A lot of these, a lot of these Twins on the other side of that game have hit Trevor Bauer well. Rosario's gone 12 for 33 with 2 home runs. Jorge Polanco 4 for 17 with 3 home runs. Joe Mauer 13 for 43 with a home run. And Logan Morrison 6 for 17 with a home run. Then going to the Mariners, a lot of them have hit Martin Perez well. Nelson Cruz 6 for 22 with 3 home runs. I think Nelly Cruz a great play today if you can fit him in. Gene Segura 4 for 12 with a home run. Kyle Seager 16 for 46 with 4 home runs. Mike Zunino 3 for 11 with 2 home runs. Mitch Haniger 6 for 15 versus Martin Perez. And lastly, Guillermo Heredia 8 for 18 versus Perez. Yomer Sanchez gone 4 for 10 versus Lance Lynn. Then lastly, Whit Merrifield 3 for 12 against Cole Hamels, and Drew Butera 3 for 11 with a home run versus Hamels. But yeah, that's it for BVP on this 10-game slate, guys. That is it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. Hopefully it did help you. If you did enjoy the video, just make sure you click that like button down below before you do get out of here. Also, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GO, or feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you guys as soon as I can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And good luck tonight on this 10-game slate. Peace.